Hello everyone, introducing myself as Riddhi Sampath, a student of George Brown College, currently living in Canada, or you can say freezing in Canada. Yes, so now let's talk about business or business communication, which we all know is the key of every lock in the business world. And without business communication, nothing is possible. So today, me and my team are going to talk about meetings, that is planning a meeting, recording a meeting, and managing a meeting. By we, I refer to my team, which is Krupa, who's going to talk about what kind of meeting to hold and what planning should precede a meeting. Then we have coming up with Alex, who's going to talk about how to keep a meeting on track and how we can be an effective participant in a meeting and what and how to know about virtual meetings. Yes, then we have Shruti, who is going to talk about what decision-making strategies work in a meeting and what should be there in the minutes of meeting at the end of the meeting. It's very important to hold the minutes of meeting. And then I'm going to come back again for conclusion and to ask you a lot of questions. So I request you to grab a pen and a paper and write lots of notes and gather lots of notes to be pro at the end of this presentation. Now I request Krupa to take over the presentation and help you with further details.
Hi, this is Krupa Raval, and as Riddhi mentioned, I'm gonna explain you what kind of meetings happen in any organization. But before that, let's understand why meetings are important. As we all know, communication is core for any relationship, whether it's a formal relationship or informal relationship. Communication plays a very huge role because it makes things clear and it helps to make things work smoothly. People in organization meet in various ways. One of them, and which is very natural, is informal meeting or one-on-one meeting. So these meetings don't have any purpose. It's like you're just moving around and you're meeting someone. It doesn't have any specific purpose that I want this, I want that. We meet, we chill, and it helps to maintain the vibe of an organization. It doesn't have to be very serious. It can be very informal. Let's talk about regular staff meeting. Now, this meeting can be considered as with purpose, but not with purpose. Exactly. Now let me explain you. Regular staff meetings can be there to just inform, like if there are new policies which are important, or there are new updates, or just like notice board. Just tell people collectively like this is gonna happen. That's it. It's not related to like sales or planning or dedicated to one topic. Now, one of the most important meetings are parliamentary meetings. This meetings only includes board of directors or the employees on the upper level. These are only done for the growth of the company, for the sales, for strategies, for planning. So these meetings are very strict. They are very important. Everything is planned, pre-planned, and it helps to boost the company in a right way. Other organizational meetings include training meetings, or we can say sales meetings. These are very frequent. They are not scheduled. They can happen at any given point of time when it's needed. With the technology upgrading, now meetings are virtual, easier, and they are done very effectively. Identify the meeting and plan with agenda. To understand, it's very important to know meetings are needed to share information, brainstorm new ideas, evaluate that ideas, implement the ideas. All this helps to make a plan successful and to get a good outcome. If the Pyrobic analysis is used, the meetings are almost and always successful. Let's understand how Pyrobic can help to make the meeting successful. First is purpose. Obviously, every meeting should have purpose, or as we discussed, it is wasted time. Another point, that is A, that is who is attending the meeting. Who are the people who are meeting? So for example, if there is an important meeting where other people are not needed, it makes no sense, right? So it's very important to understand what group of people are needed in which meeting. Third point is I, that is called information. What group of people are given what information, or do they already know that information? Because repetitive information will frustrate anyone. In any relationship or organization, it's all about give and take. So B stands for benefit. Now, what is the benefit of attendance? Do they get something from the meeting? So it helps to motivate the employees or attendees if they know what is the benefit. O in PIOBIC stands for objection. With the virtual meeting, it's comparatively less, but when there was proper like when there is proper one-on-one meeting, it's very important to understand what can be objections if you are planning a meeting, if the time is right, if the venue is right. It's very important to consider all the factors when you decide. Last and most important part is context. A meeting can be dead if it is not understood by the attendees. Meetings should have four parts. First is consultative agenda. So meeting can happen where just consultation is taken, there is no kind of implementation. Second can be voting, where majority wins. Third is consensual, where everyone agrees. It's not kind of voting, it's like everyone wants it to happen. And last is authoritative. So authoritative is the person who finalizes the decision, whatever is discussed via voting, consensual or consultative. I hope I was helpful and at least you understood the upper layer of meetings. Now Alex will explain you further. Thank you.
Thank you, Krupa. I will take it from here and explain what you need to know about virtual meetings. Modern technologies make it possible for virtual meetings to take place anywhere and anytime. However, due to modern technologies, we lost informal communication with each other. For example, going to lunch with coworkers or speaking with them during break time can never be replaced by virtual meetings. Personal meetings are really important because they create links that motivate people to work together. Face-to-face meetings also give people the chance to work out any small confusions, which couldn't be hard to work out during virtual meetings. For example, many misunderstandings can be resolved by a simple handshake. However, technology limits the exchange of meanings. For instance, audio messages provide tone of voice, but not the non-verbal signals that to tell you whether someone wants to make a comment or understanding what you're saying. Video conferencing and Skyping give you only the picture in the camera's lens. So, in virtual meetings, participants need to pay particular attention to their interpretational skills, active listening and participation, positive team rules, and the negation of conflicts. The next question I'm going to discuss is how do you become an effective meeting participant? In a small meeting, you will probably get several chances to speak. To prepare for meetings, you need to follow some rules. First, read the materials distributed before the meeting and make notes. Think about the discussion topics and be prepared to answer any related questions. Secondly, it is important to take your notes to the meeting with you. Don't forget to take a pen and a notebook to make any additional notes during the meeting. Never be late for your meetings. Your prompt attendance shows respect for other participants. In large meetings, you may get just one chance to speak. Make notes of what you want to say so that you can be concise, correct, and complete. Now, I'm going to talk about how to keep the meeting on track when you are in charge. If you're organizing a long meeting, a training session, or conference, make sure you leave some time for networking and socializing. Allow for short but frequent breaks and social activities so that people can get to know one another and have an informal chat. Here are a couple of things for productive meetings. Make expectations explicit. Common rules should cover participants' responsibilities in relation to each other. Keep meetings brief. Invite only the participants you need to carry out meetings goals and clarify their responsibilities in advance. Introduce networks and each person as he or she covers an agenda item. Pay attention to people and process. In small groups, invite everyone to speak. Use positive reinforcements, syncing opinions, giving information, summarizing, evaluating, and coordinating while texting. That's all from me. Now Shruti will take it ahead from here.
Thank you, Alex. I will now take it ahead from here. I will now be explaining about the decision making strategies that work well in the meeting. The best decision making strategies happen long before the meeting. It helps to make the meeting more objective, explicit, and prepare the participant. Meeting management includes the strategies that are focused, that save time, and that complete the purpose of a meeting. There are three decision making strategies that work well in a meeting. First one being the decision tree, dot planning, and the standard agenda. I will now explain each of them in further detail. The first decision making strategy being the decision tree. It is a form of mind mapping and clustering. The decision tree helps to present options, solutions, and consequences. For example, here is a figure that I would like you to see. Do I live at home for the university? There are two options that you have, yes or no. Those options are furthermore divided into more parts and then later into even more parts. This is how a decision tree works. You have to differentiate the options, solutions, and consequences, and at the end of the day, you get the solution about it. The next decision making strategy is the dot planning. The dot planning offers a way for the groups to choose priorities quickly. There are a few steps that the dot planning method needs to follow. First, the group needs to brainstorm the ideas, recordings, each on the page, and then put that page on the wall. Each individual gets 3 to 5 dots in two different colors. One color represents high priority, the other color represents low priorities. People then walk up to the wall and put the dots according to what they care about the most. I will now give you an instance about the dot planning method. In the given instance, the red dot means high priority and the blue dot means low priority. Let's take the first one, creating a new employee book. There is one red dot and 41 blue dots, which automatically says that it is not a priority for most of the people. That is exactly how all the other situations are categorized. I will now move on to the third and the final decision making strategy, that is the standard agenda. The standard agenda is a 7-step decision making process for solving problem. I will then elaborate those 7 steps in detail. The first one is it clarifies and reaches an agreement, which means it decides what to deliver, when to deliver, and in what form to deliver. It then identifies the problem, what exactly is the solution. Later, it gathers the information and shares it with the group so that the group can clearly examine the situation. It then establishes a criteria and finds a solution. Later, it brainstorms and finds an alternative solution. Then it measures the alternative solution with the criteria, which is the actual solution. And after the whole process, it finally chooses the best solution. This is how the standard agenda works. These were the 3 decision making strategies. I hope you guys understood the decision making strategies. I will now move on to the last topic, that is what should be in meeting minutes. Minutes should include attendees' name, decision topics, and action items such as list of who does what. The best meeting minutes record the decision reached, the action items, which is when someone needs to implement or follow up on something. The open items, which means the topics that are not yet resolved. Remember, formal meetings need to have who was present and who was absent. If you want someone to completely read your meeting minutes, you need to summarize the whole meeting minutes in one page. You need to write it in the active voice. And the most important thing is you need to highlight the most important points. Here is a sample meeting minutes. Please have a look. Thank you. I hope you guys have understood whatever I explained. I will now let Riddhi take ahead from here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am back. How was it? Nice? Yes, so after the inputs given by my talented teammates, I hope you've taken notes for your future references and for me to ask you questions. Yes, so now I'm going to give you, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you some pointers to summarize the whole presentations. The pointers start with, first one, establishing a purpose of meeting. The why to hold a meeting is very important. Remember, the why is very important for the meetings. Yes, second agenda is sending agenda in advance and asking for the inputs. Sending agenda in advance helps to know more about why you're holding the meeting, what is the purpose of the meeting, and lots of stuff by the agenda. And yes, sending in advance and taking inputs helps because you get more information to know and more knowledge about what is expected out of this meeting. So it is very important. Third is invite only the people who are required to fulfill the purpose of the meeting. Lesser people, lesser information, and lesser crowd will help you to arrange a meeting in a very, very respectful manner, and the purpose will be solved with lesser people, and that meeting will be purposeful because lots of inputs will not be there. Lesser people to fulfill the purpose is very important to hold, a kind of meeting which is important. Fourth one, we have some expectations of audience and ensure someone is taking notes about it for your future references as well as to improve in your future meetings. Yes, so when you are delivering a meeting, it is very important for the audience to take inputs and ensure to someone is participating well to understand and the reason what you're trying to tell them. And it's important to deliver in meetings, which is the message, the real message has to be delivered in the meetings, which is why are we holding the meeting, number one. And number two, more than what is expected out of the meeting, it is important what is to be told. So don't deliver what is expected, but deliver what is important to be informed. Yes, so inform what is important rather than to, stand on the expectations of what audience wants you to speak, right? So I hope now everyone is ready, and now you would be as pro as Cabby is in every other things. Right, yeah, so now I hope everyone does well in planning, recording, and managing meetings. If there's anything you'll want us to let us know, drop down in the comments. Yeah, you can subscribe, like, share, and tell us more about it. And if you want more videos about other aspects of business communication, tell us in the comments. We'll be back with more videos. So see you guys.